Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Happy Highlander. Are you enjoying your Sunday? I'm enjoying mine. What a great day. So today in this video, I'm going to show you around tank because I've done a bit of work on it, believe it or not, and show you the progression. And I've just drove maybe 2 miles down the lock side, up the lock side, sorry. Found a lovely wee spot and I thought, well, there's a couple of hours left. I've got a wee bag of worms and I'll see if I can drown a worm or two and see if we can catch a wee trout for tea. Alright, so in this video we're going to show you around tank, like I said. We'll do a bit of fishing, we'll light a wee fire, and we're going to talk about forgiveness. We're doing that Stoic thing and also using some of the teachings out of the Bible as well. So we'll go through some of that because I've got quite a personal experience about that. I got sent to prison for something I didn't do, and I managed to find forgiveness while I was in a stony, cold jail cell. So we'll talk about that. So I'll just pause you. Well, maybe not. Wait, we'll just go for a walk. Come on, I'll show you. I need to leave you there while I open this door because I broke the handle. Right, I'll flip you around and I'll show you where we are. It's awfully nice. This is the wee spot. So we'll sit here for half an hour. Have a wee natter. Right? Well, I'll show you what I've been doing. I didn't film myself doing this work, but I did take some still photographs. Can you see I've sanded all the rust away right down to the bare metal? So now it's when I get back later on, now it's dry. I'm going to put some protection over that to stop it getting rusty again, because I don't know how long it's going to be until I can actually get it painted. Like I say, we're going in for the MOT this week. Once we know how much money we have to spend on the MOT, then we can start buying stuff for the tank for the conversion. First job is going to be a bank of batteries and the solar panels and one thing and another. You can just see there, I can't walk down here, there's a bloody big drop down there, but so I've got tore into that. This here, probably going to replace the boot. Most certainly going to be cutting that out there, putting a new piece in, and then I'll have to go up the way there. So that'll all be coming out. But you can see, and I gave it a wash. Washed all the muck off him. Beautiful big thing. Do you know, I really like that colour. I'm still no sure exactly what colour to do him, but I've had some fantastic suggestions. One of my lovely subscribers, Leslie's, even offered to do for free. She's a graphic designer. Hello, Leslie, and she's offered to do a template, and she's come up with a bloody good idea. You know, she's saying, why not do on one side of it this side of the glen, and on the other side that side of the glen, and then maybe at the front we can go and paint something to do with the station, and then at the back it can be Schiehallion Mountain. So I think that's a smashing idea. Just have a wee walk down here, see, show you where we're gonna sit for half an hour, see if we can catch a wee trout. Plenty of dead wood, look. Get a great wee fire going here. I'm very, very blessed to have this on my doorstep. What a lovely day. Loads of white fluffy things in the sky with blue stuff behind it. And you know, over there earlier on, there's a big shiny yellow thing in the sky as well. This is a nice wee spot. Safe to have a fire here as well. You know, you can't have fires up there for obvious reasons. So we'll just get a nice wee spot here, sit on a wee rock, and put a rod out there, light a wee fire. That'll be lovely. Right, so I'll do that, and I'll see you in a wee minute. I'll just pause you. Nearly there. Got a bit of wood on the fire. That'll be roasty toasty in no time. I lit the fire at the back of the stack because the wind's blowing. Well, it was blowing that way. Anyway, there you go. What do you think of that? Well, I need to pause you again because I'm going to roll a wee smoke. You probably can't see me. I can't see what you're seeing. It's a wee bit slippy here. But we'll be fine. Wait a minute, I'll just pan you around a bit. Look at my lovely view. Nice and calm today, eh? See, I've got my fishing rod out. There. Don't know if I have much luck, but it's worth a try. Nothing else to do. Well, actually, I've got plenty to do. It's nice to stop and stare at times, isn't it? Right, I'll sit you down a minute and I'll just pause it again. And I'll roll a wee smoke. I've got a sandwich and I'm quite hungry, so I'm going to eat my sandwich and roll a wee smoke. Right guys, that's us. I've had a sandwich, my fire's lit, and I've rolled myself a wee smoke. So I'm just going to sit here with you for a minute. Like I was saying, I was sent to prison for something I didn't do. But we'll get to that at the end. But in that cold prison cell one night, I managed to find forgiveness. And it set me free. I was still in my cell in the morning. It didn't set me free that way. It set me free in here and in here. So there's a couple of quotes here from Seneca. But the first one we'll talk about is Ephesians. It's in the Bible. And be ye kind to one another, forgiving one another, even as God the Father has in Christ forgiven you. Then Seneca says this: forgiveness is self-care. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By forgiving, you free yourself from anger and resentment. So you've set yourself free if you can master forgiveness. Even in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our debts, for we forgive those. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. You know, so that's the same sort of thing, isn't it? And in the book of Matthew, Peter asked Jesus himself, he says, Lord, how many times shall I forgive some asshole that's done something bad to me? 7 times, is it? 7 times. And Jesus' response was, no mate, it's 70 times 7. Meaning you keep on forgiving. Because it's no for the asshole that's done the asshole thing to you, it's for you. Seneca again, forgiveness is strength, not weakness. And the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Pausing before reacting gives us the opportunity to choose forgiveness, demonstrating true power. You see? Another one from Seneca. Wait a minute, no. Another one. This is out of the book of Luke. And this is Jesus himself speaking again. This needs a bit of explaining. I'll read it out to you, but then I'll explain it, because people get it wrong. It's not exactly how it was meant to be. So Jesus says, I say to you, love your enemies, do good to them that hate you. Well, it's quite a big ask, that, isn't it? Love your enemies. How do you go about doing that? We all imagine love is like a lovely, squishy, squashy feeling that we all get towards a loved one. It's quite a big ask. Well, the answer is simple. The easiest translation that we have in English from the original Hebrew, Greek, whichever one it was written in, one of the two. That'll be Greek, won't it? Anyway, is love, but the word is actually agape, and the word agape means be charitable towards. Right, so we've all got an enemy. We all know an arsehole, don't we? That we can't stand. Now, if any one of my enemies came to my house and they were hungry, I would furnish them, I would lavish them with food. I would. You see? And that is loving your enemies as Jesus meant. It's the words agape. Agape. Be charitable towards your enemies. Another one from Seneca. Forgiveness creates opportunities where there is injury. Let me so pardon. Forgiving others opens doors to new relationships and personal growth. Imagine a life unburdened by grudges. How would that change your daily interactions? You see, and I've heard it said before, I think it's from the Stoic teachers, I've heard it said before that if you are all twisted up in knots and full of resentment, full of hatred for some person that's done you some bad deed, it's kind of like drinking poison and hoping that it makes them poorly. Forgiveness isn't for the person that's done the shitty thing to you, it's for you. It's to set you free. There's no point being twisted up in knots about something that you can't change, because it's in the past. We all know that. It's gone. And they still have to deal with themselves and with their creator at some point, you know, for what they've done to you. You know, so you don't have to have squishy feelings towards them and love them and want to send them birthday cards and all that carry on, and you know, but be charitable towards them, because again in the Bible it says when you do that, it's like pouring boiling hot coals on their head, because they can't understand it. Because I've done it before. I did it at the last Highland Games I was at. There was a guy who was an absolute asshole to me, and when I first got there, you know, he was one of these smarmy, you know, big shot, thinks he's all that, and he was an absolute asshole to me, and he did it on purpose, and you could see him fluffing his feathers up as he walked away because he felt smashing because he'd put somebody down, right? And at the end of the games, I did a show. I was doing my I had a marquee up, a wee marquee, and I was selling my wood art. And anyway, funny thing was, he at the end of the show, he was trying to pack his stuff away. Oh, I've got a fish. Huh, wait a minute. Anyway, we'll get back to that story. Did I get a fish? I did. Well, this is a wee Brucey bonus, is it? No. Did I get a fish? I don't know. Maybe. It may have just been the wind. Feels quite heavy. I've got a big weight on. No, just the weight. I might have a wee nibble. I don't know. Well, one of the worms is away. Right, you need to give us a minute. I'll bait up again. No, I'll get back to the story. So, he was struggling. This guy that had been an asshole to me. He tried to embarrass me in front of my friend who was helping me, and she saw it as well, and he knew fine well what he was doing, so he was being an asshole to me. Anyway, at the end of the show, he was packing away, and he was struggling with this thing, this big heavy thing, and there's no way he could have done it on his own. Absolutely no chance. And I looked at him, I thought, right, here we go. This is how you agape, be charitable towards your enemy, because he made himself an enemy. He just did it on purpose, just to be an asshole. And he was struggling. There was no way he was getting that big heavy thing on the back of his truck. No way, Jose. And I watched this for a minute and I thought, right, Frank, you've got an opportunity here, son, to be the better man. So I went over. I said, all right, Andrew, can I help you there, son? You're not going to get that on your own. That was a good cast. You're not going to get that on your own, son. Let me help you. Should have seen his face. He was like, oh crikey, that's a bit odd. I was an asshole to him on purpose before, and he knows it, and the lassie that was with him knew fine well, and I walked away like I'm a bloody big shot, and now I'm struggling. And this guy I was an asshole to, he's being kind to me and helping me. It did his head in. It did his head in. I'll tell you the story about Frizz. So this is 20 years ago, 2004. I had a farmhouse, 3 acres of land, a single parent, two teenage children to look after. So teenage kids, they're expensive hobbies, aren't they? No, aye, they're always wanting. Anyway, and I used to do car boot sales as a, you know, to supplement my income, and in the field at the side of the house. One night we had a smashing, well, I used to do it Saturday and Sunday, the car boot sales. We had a smashing weekend, because the weekends prior it kept raining, my field got flooded, it was a nightmare. But anyway, we had this smashing weekend. So we all packed away and everything. I'm sat in my kitchen in the farmhouse, got a phone call off my son. We were quite close to a wee town, only a mile and a half, you know, but we were down the country road there. Two men had just come out of the boozer. They'd been watching the football, drinking all day, and they started slapping my teenage boy about. He was only 13, and he was about built like this fishing rod, or you know, that stick. You know, you can imagine. And they thought it was funny to sort of slap him in the face and then throw him from one to the other. Then the other one slapped him in the face, and then he threw him back to the other one, and he slapped him in the face. I got this phone call, jumped in my car, and I went down, and well, I hammered the pair of them. And it was on camera. It showed me going across the road, and so when we got to court, the guy, to save face, said that I used a weapon. Said I used a big iron bar. So what I've done, right, and bearing in mind at this point I'm 17 stone, I'm bodybuilding, and I'm quite an aggressive man at that time in my life. And so his story was, this big guy, now he had to save face because he was a great deal taller than me, 6'3", and he was a hod carrier, so he's, you know, one of them. And there was two of them, and they were 10 years younger than me. So to save face, he said I used a weapon. So what I've done is I've gone up, smashed them in the face with this iron bar. Both. There you go. Right. He's fallen on the ground, his head's in the tarmac, and I've repeatedly thumped him in the head with an iron bar while his head's on the tarmac, right? And, oh no, sorry. He fell to his knees at first. I've gone like that, smashed this iron bar right into the top of his skull. Oh, dear me. Then he's fallen on the tarmac with his head on the floor, and I've repeatedly hit this thing into his head. Can you believe that? Right, well, he'd be dead. I mean, if a 10-year-old done that, he'd be dead. I'm a 17 stone bloody bodybuilder with a lot of aggression and a lot of testosterone at the time. So anyway, blah de blah, the judge believed it, sent me to prison. I got 19 months for each of them. The second guy only hit him once, but you know, he went down. But the truth of it is, the big guy thought it was funny. I questioned him. I went up. I said, "Did you do that to my boy?" His face was all red. Did no punch. He wasn't bruised, but that's my 13-year-old boy. And anyway, so that was it. So I hit him a couple of times. He went to the ground. His pal came running out. What the effing hell's going on here? So I knocked him out as well. Went to court. The wee guy who I hit the second time, the smaller one of the two, didn't turn up at court because he didn't want to tell the lies that the big guy wanted to say to save face. So that was it. I got sent to prison. I'm a single parent. What's going to happen to my children? That was never taken into account. So basically, put the two 19s together. I got 3 years, 2 months for something I did not do. I suppose I probably did deserve, you know, because you know, they both ended up in the hospital and that, and I'm no proud of this, by the way. There's no pride in me for this. One time I found out that my farmhouse was going to be sold. So by the time I got out of prison, I wouldn't have that house anymore. Well, you can imagine my head went extremely south and I was getting angry. While I was in prison, I've been in prison for about 2 months at this point, 3 months. And I get along with everybody. I'm friendly with everybody. Well, one of my friends, Kev, was a gangster. from the northwest. No, sorry, northwest of England. Big time gangster with a lot of connections and a very long reach. And when people found out, you know, I was losing my house, because they were against the fact that I was in prison for what I'd done anyway. The two boys that had done that to my son deserved, you know, a slapping, so they all said. Anyway, Kev got windy. It came to my cell in association that time, and he was offering a lot of things. Frank, I just need his name. I just need to know where he lives, and it'll be sorted for you, mate. So I had to decline. But I nearly called it in. You know, I nearly called it in. But of course I had to decline. And that night, I was lying in my bunk. I was lying in my bunk that night and thinking to myself, this anger, this resentment, this hatred I've got for the man that told these lies, it's not doing me any good. And after I'd had the fight with the guys, I became a Christian. So I'd actually became a Christian before I went to prison. So I prayed about it, you see, and I asked God to help me forgive. I need to forgive, because this isn't doing me any good. And within half an hour of praying and that, I didn't feel the anger. I didn't feel the resentment. It started to abate. The next morning, I woke up in my cell and I didn't care. I was free. Because while I was twisted up in knots in my cell, he's probably kicking about the town with his girlfriend. Nice disco. Listen to me. I gave my age away there, I know. Out at a nightclub, in the boozer, at the pictures, ice skating, having a smashing time. And I'm no hurting him, I'm hurting me. So I managed to find forgiveness. So that's it. That's about it. Forgiveness will set you free. No point carrying it. No point carrying all that. It's just baggage. That's all it is. And as we get older, we can't carry as much baggage, can we? Physically and mentally. Not that way. Forgiveness is self-care. There you go. That's it in a nutshell. Seneca. Guys, thanks ever so much. There's now 770 of us, I think. And I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate all your comments, all your thumbs up, all your shares. Everything. I appreciate all of it. And together, we're on a wee journey together, eh? And maybe we can help each other along the way, encourage each other, and grow together. You know, set ourselves free from, you know, all that bloody nonsense. Well, that makes sense. I'm conscious that I've not said anything for a wee while. I don't know what to say. I'm just appreciating this. Be nice if I got a wee fish though. Oh, I got my pal who lives out on the east there, quite a ways east from me. I'll be getting some weather beasts, which are, you know, big old sheep, maybe 3-4 year old, so very fatty, lovely. And I'll be getting 4 of those in the next, well, I was supposed to get it this weekend. I was supposed to get it last weekend, the weekend before, and the weekend before that. So, come on, Sam. Tick fucking talk. Aye, so, alright, pal. So what we're going to do is, like I said in another video, we're going to make traditional haggis. That'll be nice, eh? I don't know how it'll get on, but I'll do a Google and we'll work it out. We're going to use the actual stomach of the beast. Apparently you have to soak it in cold water, and because if you don't, it will split. So we'll see. Alright guys. Well, I hope that video was alright for you, and I hope it helped you in some way or other. You know, but reminding myself about forgiveness. See the guy that owns the house. I resented him very, very much for the shit that he's putting me through, because it's still a nightmare, whether I like it or not. It's still a nightmare, but I can deal with it. And it was about 2 weeks ago. I was saying to a friend, she was asking me about it and that, and I said, do you know, I've managed to forgive him. And in some respects, see, when you find forgiveness, when you forgive the asshole that's done an asshole thing to you, you actually pity them. You find pity in forgiveness, and it is empowering. You know, it's a good thing. So, like I say, that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna sit here till it gets dark, and it's 4:30 now, so it's gonna be dark in half an hour, and I'm gonna go and watch a Marvel movie. All right, guys. God bless each and every one of you, and thanks again. Thanks again. All right. I have to walk all the way around because I've got some new software. I think I can stitch the still photographs I took of me sanding down the tank. I can do that bit so far, I think. So we'll see how we get on with that bit. As for clipping bits out, haven't got a Scooby at this stage of the game. But we'll all get there, okay? God bless each and every one of you, and I shall see you on the next one. Wait a minute, I'll pick you up. Aye. God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you on the next video. Lovely, eh? Soul food for my pals. Can't beat it, eh? Can't beat it. Right. God bless you all. Cheery bye.